lines. This should be, for our algebra experts, a welcome departure from what we've been doing geometry so far. So, graphing lines.
So we don't use for notes.
Yeah, do not use that graph paper I handed out for notes. That's for classwork. So you can sketch your graphs. So we have forms of a line. We have our slope-intercept form. And we have our point-slope form. And we also need to know the formula for slope itself.
We've done slope.
All right, who remembers slope-intercept form?
Y equals mx plus b.
All right, y equals mx plus b. All right, what do each of those stand for?
Hey, you might have changed that.
M is the up and the right, the up and then the right, and then the b is the y-intercept.
So m is slope,
Right.
and b is what?
B is the y-intercept.
Yes, b is y-intercept. All right, who remembers our point slope form?
And then y minus y1 equals something x.
X minus X1.
Yeah, there's something else in there. M times y x minus x1
Just tell us.
Okay, y minus y1
equals
m parentheses x minus x1. Who remembers, well, m is still slope. What's x1 and y1?
just points.
This is where we starting point. That's a point on the line. And who remembers the formula for slope?
What?
MX
Like
plus.
rise over one.
Rise over run,
Changing y over changing x.
which is delta y, changing y over changing x, which is y1 minus y2 over x1 minus x2. So I like writing that because, I don't know, changing just implies subtraction rather than writing all these minuses everywhere. So remember, changing means to subtract. So you need to be able to graph from all these forms. Now when we did algebra class, you did like a whole 2 days on slope-intercept form, a whole 2 days on point-slope form. You just got to know, my presumption is you're familiar with it, so we're going to go ahead and do all these forms right today. All right, so let's say, it'll be online so you can get it later. Let's say that I have this, 3/2 x plus 2. What is my slope? Negative 3/2.
Oh yeah.
And what is my y-intercept?
2.
2. So that's going to be the point 0.02. This is on the y-axis. All right, so let's go ahead and graph this. All right, so I had equals negative 3/2 x plus 2. So this axis going left and right is my x-axis. Up and down is my y-axis. Wake up, please. The 0, the center is the point 0.00. So I'm going to go up 2, because that's my y-intercept, and then from there, I use my slope. And what does my slope tell me to do?
Go down right.
You go down 3, right 2. And I want to make sure I graph left to right. That way I'm not going backwards. And you can see I can barely connect my points there, but you connect way better than I did. All right, so let's say I have y equals 1/2 x. What is my slope?
I mean, sorry,
One.
1/2. What's my y-intercept?
0.
0. So I start at my origin.
Yeah, that's it.
Alright, so I start at my origin, 0, 0, and I go up 1,
Right, 2.
right 2. And then I connect.
Just like
Okay, now, some common sense. Positive slopes go up, as I agreed, left to right. So if you have a positive slope and you graph it and it's going down, you know you made a mistake. And negative slopes go down as I read left to right. Well, that leaves one other thing concerning slope, and that is, well, what is a zero slope?
Start at the middle.
A line.
That is a flat, horizontal line. So it's going to have the form y equals like 4, or y equals -2, or y equals whatever, some number. Okay, that's going to be a horizontal line. And all horizontal lines are going to be flat. So that is a horizontal line. That's my y equals 4. And here is my y equals -2. Hope you're getting all this down, because it would be a shame for 10th graders and some honor students to miss horizontal and vertical lines because they're de novo and did not pay attention, did not write this down. Horizontal and vertical lines are easy, but there's only 2 options, so there's a 50% chance that if you do not remember this, that you guess wrong. And those of you who don't study it, I guarantee you're going to guess wrong if you do not pay attention to this. Horizontal, vertical lines. Easy to graph. See, y equals 4, y equals -2. They're horizontal. Alright, so that's a 0 slope. Notice there's no x here. I also have an undefined slope. And that's when I have like some number over 0. I can't have 0 in the denominator. And that's going to give me a vertical line. And that's going to be like x equals something. Like x equals 3. Or x equals any number. Right. So horizontal lines with the horizon, vertical lines up and down. Horizontal lines have the form y equals some number. Vertical lines have the form x equals some number. So if I wanted to graph x equals 3, that's this. See, x equals some number. Y can be anything. X equals 3.
So if it just says x equals something, you don't have to put it in a certain. Oh, never mind.
Yep, it's already in this form, right? Okay, so let's say I have the point 2, 4. And I want to graph 2 lines that intersect at that point. Well, gosh, let's freak out. There's an infinite number of answers, but the easiest to get would be x equals 2, y equals 4, and graph those 2 lines. So x equals 2 is this line, and y equals 4 is this line. And notice they intersect at the point 2, 4. Easy.
But you can get the easy ones wrong.
Yes, as many of you have found out. Alright, so now that was slope-intercept form. Let's do one more slope-intercept form. Let's say I have 2y plus 3x equals 8. -8. Okay, now, this is not in a graphing form. When it's not in graphing form, unless it's in point slope form, I need to solve for y.
So you subtract 3x.
So I'll subtract 3x. Notice that that does not cancel anything, so I get 2y equals negative 3x minus 8.
Now you divide by 2.
Divide everything by 2. Now I'm going to want to leave my slope as a fraction. So I get negative 3/2 x minus 4. So what's my y-intercept?
Negative 4.
What's my slope?
Negative 3 over 2.
Okay, so I go here. Okay, negative 4. And then my slope was down 3, right 2. And then I make sure that a negative slope is indeed going down. Wow, I completely missed. It's kind of like the soccer play. I mean, no, I'm kidding. We're gonna beat him today. Here, I'll try
Hey,
again.
you know it's bad when you're the coach and you're talking about how bad your team is. That's very bad.
You should have seen us kick the ball yesterday. Oh my.
Was it bad?
No, he completely missed the goal.
No, it was like a foot off.
You
It
at
was
you
less-
at the PK line with nobody in the goal.
You know what? No one likes you. Okay.
Who are you playing?
We were playing Liberty. All right, so let's try this one, guys. All right, so this is not in slope-intercept form. If I'm not asked to change it to slope-intercept form, this is point-slope form, I can go ahead and graph it the way it is. But I need to know my starting point.
It's like negative 3, 1.
Yep, it's negative 3, 1. And notice that the signs are different. Well, why are the signs different? Because in point-slope form, it's y minus y1. So it changed its sign. M, x minus x1. Change the sign. Notice x's are over here, y's, so we need to okay? Change our signs. And what's our slope?
2.
Our slope is 2. So I plot the point, negative 3, 1. So negative 3, 1. And then I go
Up to right one.
up to right 1. Up to right 1. Up to right 1. And again, completely missed. Okay?
You're just crooked today.
Okay, yep. Alright. We use, let's say y plus 4 equals negative 3/4 x minus 1. What's our starting point?
Negative 4, 1.
No. 1, negative 4. X, comma, y. This is the x part. This is the y part. Alright, what's my slope?
Negative 3.
Negative 3/4. So I plot this point, 1, negative 4. And then from there, down 3, right 4. Okay, when I go off the graph, I can go ahead and reverse that. Then I connect.
You got the first dot.
Okay, if it asks you to put it in slope-intercept form, what are you going to do?
Put it in slope intercept.
Okay, thank you. I just said that. If I ask you to take that equation, and let's try to be specific as opposed to a bonobo. If I have this equation specifically, what do I do to get it into slope-intercept form?
Solve for y.
Solve for y. How do I do that specifically?
Subtract 4.
Okay, not yet.
Negative 3.
I could do that, but I've taught you every time you see fractions,
Clear it.
clear the fractions first. So we're going to multiply by 4 to clear the fractions. We need to distribute the 4 to everything. So 4y plus 16 equals.
Negative
Now this is all one thing, so I distribute that 4 to cancel that fraction, and I get
Negative 3x.
negative 3x minus 1. Now what do I do?
Distribute negative 3.
Distribute negative 3. Now what?
Subtract 16.
Subtract 16, so we get negative 3x minus the 16, so negative 19 right there. Now what?
3x.
Negative
What?
19.
Negative
I thought it was a y.
Hey, it's
Sorry.
negative 13. Let me
Negative
subtract.
13, my bad. Negative 13.
Negative
Divide by
by 4.
4.
Divide by 4. Everything divide 4. So I get negative 3/4 x minus 13/4. I would not want to graph from this form because it's fractional. I want to graph from that form. Let's try another one. I can see that some of you are barely paying attention. I will not help you if you do not pay attention. Pay attention. Let's say we have y plus 5 equals 2/5 x minus 4. And I say, get that into slope-intercept form. What do we do first? We clear the fractions by
5.
multiplying by 5.
5.
Remember, all of that is one thing because it's a multiplication. So I don't distribute that 5 into that. It just cancels this fraction. So the 5's cancel and leaves me with
5y.
2x plus
2 times
X minus 4.
that 5 canceled. And this 5 distributes to all of that, so I get
5y
plus 10.
25. 5 times 5 is 25.
Distribute the
Now what
two.
do we do?
Distribute the 2.
Yep.
And you subtract
Okay.
25.
Now we subtract 25. Yep, Daniel.
What?
So we subtract the 25 and we get negative 33, I think. Now what?
Now you divide by 5.
Divide by 5.
And you get a bunch of fractions.
Okay, and then that is our slope-intercept form. Again, we would graph from this form because it comes out nice, not that form. All right, let's say I give you a picture. And I ask you, what's the slope of that line? How do I find the slope of that line?
You count how many go up and then you count how many go right.
Okay, up to, right.
5-ish.
Got 5.
5-ish.
Okay, so it's 2 fifths. Okay, or I could use my slope formula. Okay, what's my slope formula?
Your slope y over changing it.
Yes.
Changing y over changing x, which means I subtract my points. Okay, let's say I wanted the equation of this line. Now I can't use slope-intercept form because it doesn't hit that right exact. So what form will I use to get the equation of this line? Point slope, which is?
Y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1.
Okay, so y, fill it in.
Minus 5.
No, this is not a point on the line. This is the what, class?
Slope.
The slope. So it goes in for which of these?
Any point of.
Yes.
This goes
Oh,
in
that
for
goes in for M.
M. I guess we were not paying attention. What goes in for y1?
Plus
Oh.
1.
Minus 4.
Well, it's
Well-
a negative 4.
Gotta switch the
Oh,
sign.
never mind,
4.
I'm dumb. Sorry.
This point is negative 2, 4. Okay, x what?
Plus 2.
Plus 2. I changed that sign. Let's do one more. See if we can actually understand that a slope is not a point on the line. All right, get the equation of that line. What do we need to get first?
Slope.
Slope. What's the slope?
Negative 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Okay, negative 1, 6. Down 1, right 6. We always graph left to right. Now, point slope form. Say the formula.
Y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1.
Okay, give me to fill it in. Minus what?
Y plus 1.
It's going to be plus 1 because this point is what?
Negative 1.
Yeah, so it's negative 1, negative 1. Equals negative 1/6 x
Plus 1.
plus 1. I could also use this point right here. Let's do that one. Y what?
Plus 2.
Equals negative 1/6 x
Minus 5.
minus
5.
5.
That's fine.
No, it is 6, yeah. Isn't 1, 2. No, it's 5.
It's 5. Minus 5. Because that's the point 5, negative 2. Okay? Alright. I think we are ready. So, take that graph paper